What up, you fluffy bastards? My name is Liquid Blitz, and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov guide. This time we're taking a look at the health resort on Shoreline, easily one of the best spots for loot and making money thanks to the many LEDX spawns, and also an assload of PvP if that's your thing. I've split this video into three parts, with timestamps if you want to jump about. First of all, keys. Secondly, a quick walkthrough of every single LEDX spawn, as well as every spawn of the red and blue labs keycards. And third and final, just general tips and info. The health resort consists of three buildings: the west wing, the east wing, and the admin building in the center. Keys! I created this beautiful master list of health resort keys. We've got the west wing, the east wing, and just other. There are three things to note here. Okay, first of all, the rooms in green have LEDX spawns in them. And secondly, the rows with more than one key next to each other side by side, those are connected rooms, so you only need one of those keys to gain access. So if you just want the minimum number of keys that'll let you hit up every LEDX spawn, you just need the green ones. Personally, I prefer to have access to every room, and I recommend that you work towards a full set of keys yourself. There's more to life than LEDXs. Thirdly, there are some keys to doors which are already open, thus they are absolutely useless. There are 10 of these in total, and I've listed them under the appropriately labelled useless keys. Now, the main moneymaker in the health resort is, of course, the LEDX, which sells for roughly 1.5 million rubles. So let's do a run-through of every LEDX spawn real quick. Okay, the first LEDX spawn is West Wing 104, and it's around to the left on this white shelf right here. Next is West 205, and it can spawn in two places. The first is on this table right here, the second is on this little desk right there. Next is West 216, and it spawns specifically right there on this grey desk. Next is up to the top floor, it's West 301, and it spawns right there on top of this white water cooler here, and it can also spawn, if you go around here, it can spawn on the left, it can spawn right there, left of the desk, yoink, and it can spawn also on the right of the desk. And I've heard tell it can also spawn right there on the bed. And those are all four spawns in the west wing, so now we run across to the east wing. Okay, let's start on the ground floor, and there are LEDX spawns in two neighbouring rooms, 107 and 110, which is Sanitar's office, or the Bloodhound room. In 107, the LEDX spawn is, you hang a left through here, and it spawns on this white shelf here. And there's also a graphics card spawn, basically where this relay is here. Now let's head straight back out to 110. And there are multiple spots the LEDX can spawn in here. To the left of the shower, to the right of the shower, and also in the shower. And you can get things like stims and so on. And while we're in here, you get medical items there, you can get medical items on the floor there, and you can also get a rare spawn, like you can get golden chains, horses, etc. on this black little desk here. And also cash on the table sometimes. The next LEDX spawn, we head up to the second floor, and it's 226, which is connected to 222, and the LEDX spawns right behind this door on this shelf here. And if we go through the balcony to the next room, there's a graphics card spawn here on this desk, and here on this desk. The next LEDX spawn is actually the neighbouring room, 227. Now this one doesn't require a key, it's already open, and it spawns right on top of this washing machine right here. The next closest LEDX spawn to 227 is actually straight up the stairs and dead ahead, in 328. The LEDX and a graphics card can spawn on the left and the right of this desk. And while you're here, if you run straight through the balcony to the other side, on this desk you can get things like gold chains and horses, etc. The next spawn is further down the third floor corridor to 314 and 313, connected rooms. The actual LEDX spawn is in 313, and it's on top of these cardboard boxes right here. The next LEDX is further down the third floor, 308, which is connected to 306, and it's round to the right here on this nightstand right there. And if you jump over here to 306, there are 4 computers in here. Loot them all, you might get a graphics card, and there's also a rare spawn of like gold chains, horses, vases, etc. in this drawer right here. Okay, that's it for the east wing, so now we head across to the admin building. There is one LEDX spawn in here. Now if you hook under these stairs and go straight forward, the LEDX can spawn right there, left of the blue tray. And the final LEDX spawn is in the back of this ambulance, which is in between all 3 buildings. It spawns nice and easy to see to the left of this little med bag right here. And that's every single LEDX spawn. Plenty of potential. Now let's run through the Red Keycard spawns. The Red Labs keycard sells for a whopping 50 to 60 million rubles. So I don't know if you want to keep it for yourself or sell it. It's a hard decision. But it is the rarest thing on planet Earth, so you're unlikely to actually ever find one. But anyway, let's do a run through. The first Red Keycard spawn, we're back in the West Wing, it's 218, which is connected to 221 and 222. It's just around to the left, bang, right there on that blue barrel. The second Red Keycard spawn is in West 203. Safe to go in 205, you got the two LEDX spawns there, already covered that. But the Red Keycard is in 203 on this newspaper under the bed right here. The third and final Red Labs keycard spawn in the West Wing is actually going down into the basement, straight forward, and it's left here on this shelf of this blue locker right here. There are two more spawns. One is in admin building, and the last one is over in the East Wing. Let's go to the admin one first. It's up the stairs, and it's all the way around to the end office, and the Labs keycard spawns right there, tucked under the ashtray. And there's also a graphics card spawn on this table. You can get a Tetris on these shelves here. Generally a good room. And while we're here, there's also another graphics card spawn. You can get one on that sofa there, or on that desk right there. Okay, final Red Keycard spawn. We're back in the East Wing, second floor, and you go in here, 218, the open door that's next to this weapon box in the corridor. You actually run through to 221, I believe, and it spawns right here in the blood next to this laptop. And those are all the Red Keycard spawns, 5 in total. If you're lucky enough to find one, I mean, good luck getting out alive. I know if I find one, there will be a river of shit following me as I sprint to the extract. Anyway, enough beautiful imagery for you guys. Let's move on to the blue keycard. A little less, worth between 10 and 14 million rubles. I mean, that's still like 10 LEDXs, so it's still a lot of money. Anyway, run through. Okay, the first blue Labs keycard spawns in the sort of footwell of the passenger side of the ambulance in the center of the whole place, right there. The second and third blue keycard spawns are back in the West Wing, ground floor 104 and 1112. The 1112 is round to the right here and spawns exactly where that cache is, next to this TV. And back in 104, where the LEDX spawns again, the blue keycard spawns right here on the edge of this desk. And those are the 3 blue keycard spawns. I found 2 blue keycards, so they seem to be a bit less rare than the red keycard. Anyway, let's move on to the general tips. The faster you get to the health resort after spawning, obviously the more likely you'll find unlooted rooms and LEDX spawns. Now, unfortunately, most PMCs that go on Shoreline haul some serious ass to get to the resort first for this very reason. And you simply have to get lucky with your spawn position. The closest spawns are at the top corner and down that wall, and on the other side, the top of the swamp is usually the first player to reach the West Wing, although there is a spawn near the cottages, which could beat you there. The worst spawns you can get are down by the tunnel extract and down by the coast road on the opposite side of the map. Those just suck. Now, it's worth pointing out that stamina is key to getting there fast. To give you some idea, when you have endurance maxed out, you actually have 2.5 times the stamina of a brand new account. So the more you level up endurance, the faster you're going to reach the health resort. Some of the more hardcore people out there like to pop an SJ6 stim for the extra stamina to reach it first, but personally I think that's a waste. As for the LEDXs and keycards, I mean, if you find one, obviously straight into the pouch so that it's safe, but they lose like over 80 to 90% of their value if you lose the found in raid status by dying or getting out too early. Now, for this reason, I recommend against hatchet runs, or even pistol runs. I'd say try to go in every time with a decent weapon with some high penetration ammo, and never ever expect an easy escape. I've lost a shitload of potential money that I could have made by dying with a LEDX in my pouch. It's heartbreaking. Another tip, we're back to keys again. If you have the pouch space, I'd recommend getting every key, not counting those useless ones. Having every key means you can loot every single room. You can choose which entrance you go in to get into the connected rooms, because some doors are more dangerous to try and unlock than others. One that springs to mind is West 203 and 205. 205 has the bookcase for cover from the sky bridge, whereas 203 is in full view, so dangerous. And to that same point, having every key also helps, I think, with PvP, because the more doors you can unlock, the more ways you can move about. It really is that simple. It can only help with PvP. Finally, I want to mention time and players. Obviously, the more players in your game, the less chance of getting good loot and surviving. Now, if you enjoy PvP, this doesn't matter at all. But if you're all about the sort of the making money and the finding the LEDXs, etc., you might want to try and reduce the number of players that you're up against. Now, right off the bat, nighttime games have fewer players. Like between 8 PM and 3 AM, there will always be fewer players in those games. But I know night games aren't for everyone. Also, reducing the number of servers you have ticked in the launcher can help bring player numbers down. But most importantly, and this kind of, to be honest, overrides everything else, during peak times in your region of the world, there are always going to be more players and more full games. And in peak times, you will find way more teams of players versus solo players. And that just makes everything way more difficult. But off-peak times is the secret. I'm usually personally up very late, and I've had so many games where I've basically been the only one at the health resort. I might run into one person in 3 games, do you know what I mean? Playing at 5 AM and 6 AM. So off-peak is definitely a way of reducing the player numbers. Anyway, I'm going to leave this guide here. There are so many more tips that I could be giving, but I don't want this video to get too long. So if you have any additional tips or information that could help us all out, leave a comment down below. Like this video if you liked it, like this video if you didn't like it, and subscribe for similar content. I live stream 5 days a week on Twitch, and I also have a second channel here on YouTube for my Let's Plays. Have yourself a fluffy day. Liquid Blitz, out.